last period that I had, I was in so much pain. So I was vegan for about 3.5 years, and at the last 2 years I noticed I was bloating like crazy. I wasn't eating very well. Maybe I'll just talk to you guys, I guess, more about like my current struggles. Too big is now too tight. I'm sick. I'm tired. I weighed 97 pounds. You might call that super skinny. I literally got called overweight once. Really confused me. And it's gotten to the point where it has consumed my whole world. Don't have energy to do anything, it feels like.
For you, with the history that you have and that incredible experience 3 years ago and never lost since, like something set up shop and disordered your whole gut, really, really helpful.
Okay. There are some serious things going on with my body. So I've been dealing with this for years and years, and I am just so excited that I finally have an answer. Hey guys, it is Melanie Lee, and welcome back to my channel. If you have read the title of this video, I decided to finally do something about my health and to finally talk about it here on YouTube. And the whole reason behind going into depth about this is to hopefully share my experiences with others if they have the same experience, so that way they don't feel alone. I know there has to be at least one other person out there going through very similar issues to me. This has been an absolute nightmare to deal with and a really mind-consuming problem. Here is my story. Background information is always extremely important to know the difference between then and now. So I was always super into dance and gymnastics. I was exercising since I was 4 years old, dancing, and then I was in gymnastics for 7 years. And when I quit gymnastics, I moved into yoga. I became a licensed yoga instructor, and during that time I was also working at a juice bar. I worked at this business for about 2 years, as well as working out. I was still in high school and becoming a licensed yoga instructor. I honestly would tell you at this point I was super healthy. I was 97 pounds. I'm a very, very short petite. I was starting to get toned. I was very thin, which at that moment I didn't think I was. I felt like I still had a long way to go to actually getting toned and not as much getting thinner. Senior year of high school, during winter break, I was working at this juice bar. Right before closing, my friend brought me Chipotle to eat for dinner. I had white rice, black beans, corn, guac, sofritas, which is the tofu, and to drink at this juice bar I made our homemade ginger ale, which had cold pressed apple ginger, agave, and San Pellegrino. Mix all of those things together. Within 10 minutes of eating, for some reason my body had a terrible reaction and my stomach swelled up to me looking like I was 6 months pregnant. It hurt so bad, so much pain. This was all within 10 minutes. I ran to the bathroom, graphic, I had diarrhea. Luckily I lived right around the corner. I drove home, my mom came in, totally thought I was in a lot of pain too. We kind of waited it out. My boyfriend was actually leaving out of town to go snowboarding, but all I could think about is like, I'm in pain and I can't breathe. So the pain was getting intensively worse. It felt like my stomach was having like contractions basically. My stomach was stretching and it hurt, and the air was pushing up into my lungs, so it made it hard for me to breathe, causing me to have some sort of anxiety attacks. And from there my mom thought I was possibly having an appendicitis. She took me into the hospital. In the waiting room they were gonna make me wait, and then the pain was getting intensively worse. It was getting so bad I started passing out from the pain that I was in. Put me in a wheelchair and rolled me straight back to the ER. From there they pumped me with a dose of morphine and anxiety medications. They took my blood, you know, they asked me questions, they saw what kind of pain I was in, so they immediately sent me to get an ultrasound of my stomach. And this is where the story gets twisted and turned, because the nurses also thought I was having an appendicitis. Going in to get an ultrasound, that's where they were supposed to show or see if I was having an appendicitis. The lady who was working doing the ultrasound said, well, this is strange, I can't see anything. And when I mean anything, I can't even see if you're having an appendicitis or not because there's so much air and gas in your intestines, I can't see past it. There's literally nothing I can do because I can't see what's going on. So they sent me back to the ER. The nurse there said, I can give you more morphine, but we have to discharge you because we can't see what's going on. So now I'm on my second dose of morphine and they're pumping me with drinks and pills. I was in so much pain. This is the worst pain I was ever in my entire life. From there, the nurses discharged me, or tried to. And when they were talking to my mom about this, I was passing out again from pain. They couldn't figure out why I was still in pain when they gave me morphine, 2 doses of morphine. They let me wait around just a little bit longer, tried to discharge me again. My mom tried to argue with these people and say, you can't discharge her, she can't go home looking like this, she could barely keep her eyes open. Still not feeling better. You have to figure out what's going on. Mind you, I am so drugged up at this point with morphine that I don't know what's going on. During this moment, I actually farted. And my mom and Wyatt, who luckily came back, he turned around on his trip, he was almost there, and rushed back to the hospital. Took him like 2.5 hours to get to me, so that I was at the hospital I think in total for like 6.5 hours at night, by the way. So my mom and Wyatt were sitting there and I farted, not knowing I did at all. And they said it lasted to 10 to 15 seconds long and it was the loudest fart that they ever heard. And people next to me in the waiting room started laughing and the whole hall was laughing. There's that, but I passed out immediately after because I felt immediate relief from farting. So anyways, that's my fart story. I had $1 million fart. I started to feel slightly better and then the pressure came back. I had more bloating. I was so much in pain. And my mom ended up running out to the hallway and yelling for a doctor. A doctor finally came in to see me and he goes, yeah, this isn't right. We shouldn't have tried to discharge you. He sent me into an MRI, which they had to pump me with some sort of dye. Filled up my body, which by the way feels crazy because it makes you feel like you have to pee. And me being drugged up on morphine, and by the way, now I'm on my 3rd dose of morphine, which I don't even know how this is legal, and waited I think about 45 minutes to finally get back the MRI result. Meanwhile, I am in so much pain. They gave me a 4th dose of morphine because my pain would not go away. So finally the doctor walked back in and he goes, well, I think we figured out what's happening. Your intestines are only able to grow like 4 centimeters or 7 centimeters or something. Somehow mine were almost up to like 7 or 10, but it was pushing past the limit that you're technically able to even expand by. So he said if we don't do anything about it right now, you're literally going to like explode. I know that sounds crazy, but my intestines would have ruptured and I would have had toxins everywhere in my body. Then he proceeded to say, well, that makes sense why the morphine isn't helping, because morphine or pain medication does not take away the pain of intestinal pain. So I was drugged up for nothing. And 4 doses of morphine, which I still don't understand how that is like allowed to happen. First thing that they decided to do was put a tube up my butt with a bag at the end of it and to basically just release the air. As soon as they did that, this bag just went and my stomach went like this and I immediately felt better. Why wasn't my body letting air out? They don't know. I don't know. They also don't know why it happened. I don't know why it happened. He basically said possibly a weird combination of food, and then they came in and they took it out and I was good to go. After dealing with this hospital experience, my stomach has never been the same. Before this, I never experienced any bloating. Everything I eat makes me bloated. I can drink water and get bloated. I can eat 1 grain of rice and get bloated. I can eat salmon or eggs and get bloated. I can be on a vegan diet and get bloated. No matter what I did, I was bloated and I had issues. So that whole time before, when I was really skinny and was starting to get toned and felt like I was my healthiest ever, I was on a pure vegan diet for about a year. Since all of this happened, I was starting to question if it was my vegan diet that did make me start to have bloating issues. To this day, that was about 4 years ago, and I have had intense stomach pains. I can't drink alcohol. I can't drink Sprite or any sort of bubbly drink or carbonated drinks. I really have to watch what I eat. Beans, I cannot have beans anymore. I've had to cut out so much. Soy makes me bloated. Literally almost everything at this point makes me bloated. And it has started to feed this thing in my mind where I have no idea what to eat anymore. Toxic mindset of not knowing what to eat and always thinking about food, and then I started gaining weight. Now I've gained about 25 pounds since then. I just don't feel healthy. This sounds so simple when I'm talking about like this and it doesn't really affect me, but I have made so many videos about me just being exhausted about thinking about food and what I'm gonna eat my next meal and how I'm gonna feel after. I might as well not eat at all, or maybe I'll just do a juice cleanse, but I'm so hungry. Then fatigue, and I wake up tired after sleeping for 10, 11, 12 hours. I wake up tired, and then I want to work out because I love working out and love living a healthy, balanced lifestyle, but I'm too tired. I feel exhausted. It's everything. It's literally everything, where I feel like I might as well just not eat and sit in bed all day. And I think I'd feel better if I just didn't eat, or if I do this crazy cleanse, or no matter what I do, I still had this underlying issue. So another issue that I've always had is my menstrual issues. I decided after dealing with all of this finally to go see a gynecologist and really talk about the issues that I'm having. You know, I told her I'm having extremely heavy periods, where in high school I would have to stay home for 2 days and sit in the shower. I have really, really bad cramps. After I explained to her, as soon as I started eating fish and eggs, I broke out like crazy, which I'm still dealing with here and here. I've been documenting pictures of this acne that I've been dealing with, which I've never dealt with before in my life. Bleeding, heavy cramp, weird nausea in the middle of the night when I'm ovulating, weird pains in my uterus where I feel like someone has a witch finger and scratching downwards. Sometimes I have weird, hard ovarian pain that hurts. And this stuff didn't start happening until like maybe 2 years ago, when I started feeling these weird ovarian pains. And then I explained all of my diet issues and my digestive issues that I'm having, and she seemed to slightly ignore those, and her best result was endometriosis. She wanted to test me for endometriosis, but I don't have insurance, so she said she was gonna try to prescribe me a pill for endo, even though I'm not diagnosed with it. The MRI was going to be very, very expensive to diagnose that without having insurance. So this whole thing was a mess. I don't feel comfortable taking birth control without knowing what I have. Don't feel comfortable taking this medication specifically made for endometriosis without knowing that I have that, because this specific pill has many, many, many side effects. I had no luck with regular doctors, so I turned and looked into a naturopath. Hello?
Hi, this is Dr. Carla calling for Melanie.
Hi, yes, this is Melanie.
I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm going.
The last few days has honestly been pretty rough. I feel amazing right now.
I should get away from here. There's a better place.
The diagnosis finally came in.
Better place for me.
Should I film this or not to film this? Definitely not going to be postable. Real weird. Oh my god. What? I'm gonna throw up. It doesn't even smell bad. I'm not gagging or coughing because it smells bad. I just gotta do it. I just gotta do it. Okay, alright. Just do it. Just help me a little bit. Come on. Oh, it's rock. God. It's like wet, slimy rocks. Got Dr. Mel in the office, here to examine my own specimen. That's a fun looking spoon. Is that vigorously enough for you? I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this first portion of my health series. I have been just waiting and waiting to finally accumulate enough information just to share it with you guys. I have a few more videos coming on this topic. I couldn't fit them all into one video, so I've broken them down into several different videos. So I guess this will be more of a health series. You guys know I love reading your comments, so if you have any questions, if you guys are going through similar experiences or know anyone who's going through similar experiences, I would love to read your stories down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really supports me and my channel. And these next videos that are coming, I promise you they are not as sad as this one. They're a lot more lighthearted and a lot of funny parts too. I will see you guys in the next one.